As soon as you take your first wrestling bump, you probably start dreaming about a WWE tryout. I mean, you shouldn't do that because you're getting ahead of yourself. But isn't that what life is all about? Because I know you can do it, and I want to make sure you follow your dreams. But just to give life balance, which is important. Hello, my name is Sam from What Culture. Please hit that subscribe button. Here is indeed 10 insane stories from WWE tryouts. Number 10, a dream match happened at one. Yep. This is nuts. For when the Young Bucks were done with TNA after not being treated very well at all, they went to Ring of Honor. We all know the deal there. But beforehand, Matt and Nick Jackson did have a tryout with WWE in 2011. Nick has gone on record saying this was mostly done to try and get some chatter online, as they didn't think they'd get signed due to WWE's "you've got to be a giant" policy at the time. And they were right. Given the time period, though, the Bucks did come up against a team that these days is considered a dream match, because that's right. Various WWE officials and who knows who else saw them versus the Usos. Oodalali. Now, of course, this was over a decade ago, so I doubt it would be to the same standard we get today. And it got overshadowed anyway due to the fallout with Booker T. It's all out there if you want to read about it. And the good news is that it's water under the bridge now. We're all friends again. One William Regal was very impressed with this match, though, which tells you all you need to know. I still hope to see it one day in any promotion. It would rock. They're all so damn good. Number 9, the Young Bucks changed the course of history. I totally believe that without the Young Bucks and what they did on the independent scene, we don't get what wrestling has become today. They showed everyone you didn't need to get to the supposed big leagues to make money and be successful. You could bet on yourself and make it happen. Before that, though, they too had wanted to make it to WWE, and after meeting Marty Jannetty, who was impressed with their work, they got an invite to a show thanks to Shawn Michaels. This all then went bad as the Heartbreak Kid wasn't at their dark match when they were trying to make an impression. Following a wardrobe malfunction plus a bad interaction with John Laurinaitis, Matt and Nick felt justly mugged off. This got worse when an unnamed top star said the Bucks were smaller than their children and made a homophobic slur. All of this is very bad stuff. The point is, it made the host of the Superkick party realize they didn't want or need this. The environment backstage was horrible, so they decided to forge their own path, and look what happened next. Just to be a little bit hyperbolic as well, maybe if they had been treated nicely, AEW would never have come to be. Something to think about. Number 8, Lacey Evans told Sammy Guevara how to wrestle. What a wonderful entry that is. I love it. We go to 2017 for this one, when Sammy Guevara was having his WWE tryout, and as we know, he didn't make it. I don't really think WWE knew what they had. You can still see footage of this as WWE uploaded it to their YouTube channel for some reason, where William Regal is doing his favorite drill where he wants you to work on your footwork, but the best part is Lacey Evans is there too, and she starts going off on Sammy. As far as she's concerned, he's not getting it right, and as far as I can work out, she herself had only been training for a year. Wrestling! It's so surreal to see, but man, I'm glad it exists. I say this every day. I need more madness like this in my life. Number 8, RJ City picks the wrong man. These days, RJ City is hosting Hey EW, a wonderful YouTube show for AEW that you should watch. It's great and it will make you laugh. Not only is Mr. City good at that side of wrestling, though, he's also an in-ring talent, and once was so freaked out by Daniel Garcia's chop, he screamed, covered up his chest, which allowed Garcia to smack him in the head. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best. Over a decade earlier, he had a WWE tryout too alongside Xavier Woods, which they talked about on the Feel the Power podcast. During a promo class, he was asked to show off his improv skill, as of all people, Perry Saturn watched on, so RJ thought he'd walk over and ask to see his hands. Perry agreed, and instantly City thanked him as he just wanted to see the rings of Saturn, which apparently didn't land at all. The whole room didn't get it was meant to be a bad joke, atmosphere became very awkward and very weird. As somebody who likes goofy wrestling, I think this is the best story anyone could tell me, so give me more of this all of the time. Number 6, Daniel Garcia talks about the warehouse era. Daniel Garcia has the world at his feet. The dude just gets it, and in a couple more years, if it all goes how it should, he shall be at the top of the card. The man will fly. Back in 2021, Garcia was living a very different life though, as during the pandemic he was making random appearances for WWE, which did serve as somewhat of a tryout. On Talk Is Jericho, Daniel even mentioned how it went pretty well and that Triple H shook his hand and welcomed him to the team, even though nothing had been offered or signed. Whoops. William Regal was also on board, or so it is said, when of course Vince McMahon decided he was going to take more control of NXT, and this just stopped. we were going to start getting college athletes instead. Daniel also revealed that Senior Director of Talent Development Canyon Seaman told him WWE would probably sign him sooner or later, especially if another company starts sniffing around, which is when he went to AEW. I wonder why. Number 5, WWE writers weren't impressed with Eddie Kingston's promo, which is a silly sentence for me to say out loud. That's not true now, and it's never been true, because if you give Eddie a microphone, he makes magic. He's been doing it for ages. Kingston was happy to recount this on Renee Paquette's podcast back in 2021, and that when he was trying out in 2016, he was actually told this. "We don't like your promo, Eddie Kingston." Ed had decided to put over the toughness and intensity of the drills they'd all been doing the last few days, and even said that being stabbed or shot at would be a preferable way to spend his time. So we were going big here. Kingston also dropped the wonderful line that where he's from, people believe in Tupac more than Santa Claus, when he saw two writers just shaking their heads and looking confused. And I tell you this, I want to talk to those people. As it turned out, others felt differently and loved his work, but by the time they made contact, Eddie had signed with AEW. So it happened again. You tell me. Number 4, Thunder Rosa, the referee. So this is just mad. If you've seen Thunder Rosa in AEW, you know she's had some phenomenal matches which took her to the Women's Championship, and yet there was a time when she was struggling so much to move forward, she rang up WWE and asked if there were any opportunity as a referee. Yep, she just wanted a gig. Once again from the Renee Paquette podcast, Thunder talked about this, and it's a bit silly WWE didn't go, "Well, don't worry about that. Why don't you come wrestle for us instead?" It's not like people didn't know. Obviously this didn't happen, but sometimes if a free agent calls you and you can go in the ring, let them go in the ring. What is the worst that could possibly happen? Number 3, WWE passed on the next Batista. Imagine you've had Dave Batista on your books, and years after he has stopped wrestling, in walks Wardlow. Surely you think to yourself, well, we know what we can do with him, take him under your wing and just craft him in the same image. Nope, why would we do that? For after Wardlow had his tryout, WWE decided to pass, and even if he was a lot greener during this time, so isn't the point of developmental to develop? I thought so. Maybe I'm wrong. Ultimately, it is up to the powers that be, and they're allowed to say no, but the real sad part was Ward's fellow trainees. As he talked about on Talk is Jericho, the majority of individuals there were college athletes, and all thought wrestling was a bit rubbish. That sounds great. We should definitely sign them. Number 2, the Briscoes Get Rejected for the dumbest reason. If you've ever seen Mark and Jay Briscoe work, you know they're all time. Easily one of the most influential tag teams ever, they could tangle with everybody and make it work. They should have got a major wrestling contract long before they did. It's not like they weren't on the radar either, because they were, and after being turned down for the umpteenth time, the brothers went searching for answers. And you will never guess what they got told. For after they had contacted John Laurinaitis wanting help following a 2009 tryout, it was explained to them that they weren't aesthetically pleasing enough. I mean, what is happening? The real silly part is that this is one of the Briscoes' strengths because they look like they're ready to kill you, and go check out the tag team division at this time. It was totally empty. It didn't matter as Mark and Jay smashed it anyway, and as we are speaking about them, all the thoughts and love to their family. Jay's tragic passing is still unbelievable. The way they all cope with it is inspiring. Rest in peace. Number 1, Athena tells you that nothing has really changed. In 2015, we had this great idea that maybe we should let women wrestlers wrestle in WWE. It was a very smart decision. It did mean we saw a very healthy change in front of our eyes and finally got to see what they could do, but not everything changed according to many stories. I suppose some leopards won't change their spots. Returning to Talk is Jericho when Athena was a guest, she revealed that the WWE tryout process was even more dismal than maybe a lot of us had realized. For she was told she didn't have the diva look, and it was suggested that maybe she changed her hair and attire. That didn't work, but Athena still got another opportunity a few months later, and this time was told to lose some weight. That is not cool, Anne. That is not cool at all. The then Ember Moon still persevered and did get signed, but as the current ROH Women's Champion told Chris Van Vliet, even when her foot was in the door, she was told she needed to dress more sexy. There's only 6 words we can say to that. What the flub is going on? Know of any other insane stories from WWE tryouts? Make sure you let us know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Then you can head over to whatculture.com where you can read more articles like this with your eyes, and you can follow us on social media at WhatCultureWWE and Simon Miller 316. And if you take a look at your screen right now, you'll see another list video why don't you give it a click? My name is Sorry for What Culture, which is actually on my birth certificate, so thank goodness I found this job. Otherwise, people would look at me weirder than they do already. I don't like going outside. It hurts my feelings. Goodbye.